Hello everyone, my name is Hightower. This is Hightower versus the World. This is my new video channel. It's my first video on my video channel. But what this is I adjust the camera, apologize, this is just my chance to express some opinions on various topics, mainly probably going to be dealing mostly with MMA, maybe some current events going on in the world, maybe political or just anything going on in the world, but mainly it's going to be revolving around sports, MMA in particular, and looking forward to doing it. A little background on myself, in the sales world, like a lot of people are, and what can I say? It's a job. But anyways, first thing I want to talk about is the most recent UFC that we saw over the weekend, which was Anthony Rumble Johnson versus Daniel Cormier as the main event, and the follow-up, or the co-main event, being Vitor Belfort versus Chris Weidman. Let me just say right off the bat, what an amazing card. I mean, wow. Talk about getting your money's worth, which, if you bought that Mayweather-Pacquiao pay-per-view, yeah, bought it. Yeah. You see the difference in quality. That's a whole other subject, but I knew what I was getting with Pacquiao and Mayweather, but I bought it off the chance of what if something happens. I don't want to be that guy that didn't get to see it. So, anyways, but this card was great. This MMA card, and this is MMA at its finest. I try to get people into MMA, and a lot of times, I'll have them watch a fight, and the fight doesn't go that well, or it's not that exciting, or it's a ground fight or whatever, and it's hard to really get people into it. But this is one of those few cards I think you get people into it. And at this point, if you've known about MMA, if you've known about the UFC, if you've known about mixed martial arts at all, at this point you're probably either into it or you're not. I've got plenty of friends who still think it's probably human cockfighting, and I've got a lot of friends who will listen if I have an opinion on something. But I've been a fan since 2004, 2005. I was a tough noob. I started because I didn't have access to the UFC back then. I didn't. I know guys went and rented the tapes at the video store, but I just didn't have any friends who were into it. And I was a boxing fan, but not like super into MMA, just because I didn't know much about it. It looked sloppy to me. It just looked gross. Tough brought me in, made me realize there's a whole another world of fighting out there. Learned about pride, and then just I've been a fan ever since. Probably pretty much a hardcore fan. So, anyways, back to the main event, which is Cormier Johnson. I picked Rumble in that fight, but the one area I was worried about was that wrestling. And boy, Cormier, my God, that kid is a wrestling stud. And I remember when Rumble hit him with that overhand right. I mean, my God, I jumped out of my seat. I thought that was it. I thought Rumble was just going to swarm on him and until the ref pulled him off. I really thought this was happening, but my God, Daniel Cormier jumped right back up and just did what wrestlers do. He did what wrestlers do. They grind. They get through it. They find a way. They don't give up. And Cormier, I won't go into specifics, but he's an Olympic level wrestler. What do you want? The guy is the top of his game, and he's been able to apply that to MMA, and look what he did. Not many guys get back up from that shot. A, from Anthony Johnson, and then B, not many guys would ever get up from that and then turn that into a win. It's just, you get hit with a shot like that right from the jump, you're looking at a bad night probably. So just to watch him come back was great. Like I said, I favored Rumble going in, but DC, God bless him, man. He won that fight, came back, took that belt. As far as the fight with him and John Jones in the future, I'll definitely favor John Jones in the rematch, but I think Cormier is going to go back and watch the tapes. Obviously, he's going to make some changes. He's going to do some things that I'm sure he didn't do in the first fight and regretted. And I think he took that first fight, and I know it was on short notice, and then I know that I don't think he had a full camp. And I don't know if he was training wrestling that much. I think he felt like he had the wrestling on lock, and then obviously Jones showed him that this is a whole different world than the Olympic wrestling or collegiate wrestling. This is MMA wrestling. So I think he'll go back, make those changes, and I'll still favor Jones in the rematch, but I won't be shocked if somehow, some way, Cormier steals 3 rounds, or I don't know if he'd submit him or knock him out. I just can't see that with Jones yet. He's barely ever been hurt ever. But I won't be surprised if Cormier can win, But it all depends on if John Jones, when he comes back. I fully intend or expect him to come back, but obviously with the situation, it could be a while. And I did think it was kind of funny that the UFC really didn't want to address any of that at the fight. I think they called it like got himself into a situation or something, but I get it. When you're running the production, when you're running the show, you don't have to give in to what we want. You don't have to tell anybody. If ABC is broadcasting it, if NBC, CBS, I'm sure it's a different story. But Zoof owns the production. They do whatever they want. So I respect it. And if you're a hardcore fan, you can find out pretty quick what happened. It's called the internet. So the co-main event, we'll just talk about that real quick. Chris Weidman versus Vitor Belfort. Man, Chris Weidman is just, he's a real deal. Like you said, man, if you're not on the hype train right now, get on it, man. This guy is legit. He took out Anderson Silva twice. I always wondered what would happen if Silva hadn't clowned that first fight, but he did. It happened, and Chris Weidman's career has taken off since then. He beat the brakes off for 3-4 rounds. Lyoto Machida had a bad 5th round with him, but I think that's that inner scrappy in him that just wants to go to war. But Vitor, I remember coming in this fight thinking like he's got a chance. I remember talking to one of my friends saying he's got a chance, and he showed that. He showed that. He had that flurry. And man, nobody flurries like Vitor, but Chris Weidman, the way the way he did that was perfect. He avoided, and he got out of there. He avoided those punches and he got out of there. He didn't stay in there. He didn't stay in the pocket. He moved it back to the center of the cage where he should. He traded a few more punches and immediately went for that takedown, and then you saw that difference. You saw the difference between a really legit wrestler and a guy that's just, it was good. It was a black belt in jiu-jitsu also in Vitor, but just could not handle that weight on top of him. And Chris Weidman, my God, he's got to feel like a Mack truck on top of you. Could only imagine. But the way he just moved and got into mount just so effortlessly. It's one thing for skill, but it's another thing just to have the pure strength, just to own the guy underneath you. And that's what Weidman did, man. He freaking owned him on the ground, And from there, it was just elbows, punches, death from the sky, basically, on Vitor. And I thought Herb Dean, I can't remember if it was Herb Dean, maybe another referee, thought they should have stopped it a little quicker, I'll tell you right up front, I'm a safety first guy when it comes to MMA. I know Chet Congo and Pat Barry proved that I don't always need to stop a fight right away. I know that Brock Lesnar and Shane Carwin happened, and that fight didn't get stopped there. But when a guy dies in the octagon, and the social justice warriors and the politicians and the PC police come out in full force, they're not going to give MMA a chance like they do boxing. Not enough time has passed. So when that happens, let's not say we didn't warn ourselves. I just err on the side of caution. Let a guy fight another day. There needs to be some distinct rules and guidelines for what is considered intelligent defense. And just getting pounded on the ground while doing this, and you're just doing your body. Body's just reacting. I don't know if it's really intelligent. Intelligent to me is, going for a submission, trying to get up, get out of there. Trying to do something other than just cover up and shell up. And, like I said, it's going to take a death in the octagon and maybe do it. That's just a little side note, you can leave comments and let me know what you think, but I'm a safety guy when it comes to that. I want to see the sport around for another 100 years, and I don't want some carelessness and some pride get in the way of the sport's progress. So, I would like to see that looked at a little bit. Last thing before I go, the production on the fights, and there was a lot of other good fights on there. I'll have to get to it another time, but the fight or the production itself was pretty good. You know, it was okay, but you know, the UFC, it's so funny because like that Conor and Aldo promotion or advertisement, that was great. That was great, man. God, those guys, that's the best, probably the best promo I've ever seen. And they did it, and Luke Thomas mentioned this in his chat, the minimal things that they did in that promotion is what made it. You don't need punches and kicks and highlight reels and all the time. When you've got a personality like Conor McGregor, you let that personality just do on its own. People will watch just to see, fuck is this fucking cocky guy, you know? And then you got the stoic Aldo, who's just quiet and just very about his business. And it was just a great production, man. Love to see that on future promos, you know, as opposed to the typical cookie cutter punch, 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 kick, 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 Sunday, 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 you know, like, ugh. And then, you know, of course, the Face the Pain music at the beginning just still... I think they think that that's like part of the tradition now. When that music hits, man, it's go time. And you don't realize, especially if you got a group of people over who may have never watched the sport before, and all of a sudden they hear, break the bank, ah! What do they think? Tap out, affliction, douchebag, you know, bullies, fuck, you know what I mean? Like, cockfight. That's what they think. Get rid of it. You're better than that. Watch HBO's production on their boxing. They changed theirs a few years back, some minor upgrades to their graphics and some of the intro music. Perfect. It's good. It's professional. It's aesthetically pleasing. It's very well done. And you look at the UFCs, and it's just like, I'm not about to agree on this, but I think the head production guys are Craig Borsari and Dana White. I need more than that, man. I mean, Dana, you're a promoter. You know, and Craig Borsari does some good stuff, but he's one guy, man. You need more guys in that room, or gals. So listen, we got to ban this horrible music at the beginning of our fights. And you're talking to a guy, I was a big Korn fan back in the day, big, fortunately, you know, Limp Bizkit fan. You know, I was a new metal kid, you know, shit. You know, grew up in the late 90s, but it's time to move past that, man. And it could be simply done. Just a new little piece of music right there, a new intro. My God, the graphics production guy who has to air that has got to be going crazy every time he has to mix in a fighter interview with that stupid intro. But they could do so much better than that. Come on, guys. You're better than that. Stop being amateur. This isn't 2004 anymore. Step it up. Other than that, not a bad production. Pretty good card. And you know, I should see what the rest of the year brings. You know, 2015 started off so promise for the UFC. It's been derailed by a lot, unfortunately, it seems to. But you know, there's 6 months left in the year, and hopefully better things will happen. I know there's a card coming up in Houston, you know, from Texas. Yeah. And I'm anxious to see what they do there. You know, I think Houston's always a well-attended show. They had the Expo here a few years ago. So, it'll be interesting to see, but I think they've got their work cut out for them for the rest of the year. Aldo McGregor hopefully will live up to the hype. I'm picking McGregor in that one, by the way. Call me crazy. And they need him to win. The UFC needs stars. They need stars. They need stars. Yeah. That's a whole other video session, but we just need to talk about the fact that the UFC needs guys bad. Chuck Liddell ain't walking through that door. Randy Couture ain't walking through that door. Tito's not walking through that door. It's over. You better start producing some new talent. Conor's that guy, man. He is that guy. They need him to win that fight. Well, anyways, we'll check back in. This is the first Hightower versus the World. Please leave comments and please subscribe below. Appreciate you watching, and talk to you soon.